Are you willing to look stupid for 10 years? I'm talking to creative people.
Yeah.
That's the question. The question's not if you're good enough. The question is if you're willing to keep swinging.
Give it up for Jon Bellion, everybody. Mass over 1 billion streams worldwide.
He is a monster. You know, we've been a fan of his work for many, many years.
Multifaceted collaborator, singer, songwriter, multiple Grammy nominees.
The fastest song
to 1 billion streams, yeah.
You quit music as an artist. Why did you decide to come back, and why now?
One thing I do believe deeply in my heart is that the things I'm saying on this album will help people.
Because people were like, where's Jon Bellion? And for me, it was if he like never disappeared, because every time a song would come out, I'd go to the song credits, I'd be like, there he is. He's still going. Were there a lot of songs that were failures before the monster connected?
Every song I ever made was a failure before the monster hit. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I would never do that. But like, it's fun to make it.
Yeah.
Rihanna's considered one of the greatest artists of all time. She barely writes anything. Why? Because she's the most genius level A&R ever.
How do you measure success?
To the degree you're willing to look silly by striking out is the degree you'll be successful.
For anyone watching out there right now, I truly believe that this is a conversation that any creative should watch.
This conversation's meant a lot to me, and you're a great fucking interviewer. One of the best I've had in a long time.
What do you hope that your kids feel when they hear Father Figure one day?
I mean, you make me walk through the last 33 years of my life.
So excited today, and it is such an honor to be with the one and only Jon Bellion.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Going behind the wall with Jon Bellion today. I started the series to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. But I have to be honest with you. I feel like I've been preparing for this interview for like 8 years now.
Wow.
When I first heard The Human Condition back in 2016.
Okay.
One of an album that really connected with me, but specifically has one of my favorite outro songs of any album ever.
Thank you.
And also, when I first started this series, there was like a list of people that I wanted to talk to, no matter what. A couple of them are on this vision board I made: Ryan Tedder, Benny Blanco, Pharrell, Timbaland, Rick Rubin. And one of them was you.
Wow. I love that.
And I honestly threw myself into research for this because I wanted to I want everyone who's watching right now, not only who's like a massive Jon Bellion fan, but anyone out there who's maybe never heard of you, to get to know you as a person, get to know your story.
Love that.
So I dived in to so many of your interviews.
Oh, man.
All back in the day.
Okay.
And I can tell why you didn't like doing interviews after a while, because some of
the same fucking 10 questions. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I remember around 3 years ago, we reached out to someone on your team and we got the response that Jon doesn't do interviews anymore. And now, in my mind, I was like, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. And when I got the email that not only you wanted to do this, but you were keen to do this.
Yeah.
That was so exciting for me.
Absolutely.
As a creator, because you are someone who has really not only been successful, but I think figured out what success means to you. And I feel like it's not talked about a lot.
Huge. That's the big, yeah, I could not, that's number one for sure.
So
what success means to you. Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely something I want to go over today, but we also are going to go over all the new music as well as your past and your story. I want to make sure we go over everything. But one of the things I always love starting with for everyone I talk to is I ask the same question every time. And it is, for anyone who may not know who you are, what are the songs they might know you from?
Know me from my songs or songs that other people... Probably, I would say All Time Low is probably a song you've just heard in the ether of life that people might not even know my face's name attached to it, but that would probably be my biggest record to date. And as far as records I've written for other people, maybe Ghost Justin Bieber, Holy Justin Bieber, Memories, Maroon 5, Graveyard, Halsey, Rihanna, The Monster, Millennium, Good Things Fall Apart, Dua Lipa, Miley Cyrus, Prisoner, Camila Cabello, Shameless Liar. Yeah, so you've probably heard something I've been involved with at some point. Yeah, so
amazing
maybe.
songs.
Oh, in CVS or some shit.
But the follow-up is because I feel like everyone thinks that there's like an overnight success moment, but my favorite follow-up question, because most people are going to know those songs, but how many songs do you think you wrote until you got your first hit?
Oh, man. Genuinely, from probably around high school, like early on high school, I was probably making a song a day, every day. I'm still kind of doing that. So I guess whatever calculation that adds up to, probably thousands. Probably, realistically, yeah. If it's multiple years, I was making sometimes 2 songs a day. Yeah, I would say probably thousands of songs before I had my first cut, my first global #1. Yeah, crazy.
So like, one of the other things I noticed is like, you've made so many songs and you continue making songs, and in all the interviews that I've seen, everyone's always asked you like, how did you get into music? And that's a great question. But the thing I want to like ask more for this is like, what about music kept you making music, and why did you keep making music?
Yeah.
You said you wrote thousands of songs. Why were you writing thousands of songs?
Yeah,
What about music?
great question. I just remember as a really little kid, like my earliest memories are just like experiencing songs for the first time, and I realized that just like they affected me way deeper than other people. Like even kids that were around me, or certain things would come on in the car and it would just take me to an entire different place. I saw it differently. It all registered differently in my brain, for sure. So then right around the time my brother like brought home a keyboard and it, like was able to make beats and stuff, it was just like, oh, I'm never doing anything again for the rest of my life. The first time I ever touched just a beat pad, I was like, oh, I'm never, this is it. I just knew. You could ask my family, you could ask my friends, you guys, everybody. I will do this for the rest of my life, whether I am successful at it or not. I know that I want to do this for the rest of my life, and I just never stopped. You could ask my mom. She might come to the crib today. She used to come into my room and be like, "Did you eat?" She'd be like, "Did you eat yesterday?" I'd be like, "I can't remember." She'd be like, "Have you been in here for 48 hours and you haven't slept yet? And why do you have your bed on the floor? Why are you sleeping on the floor next to your music equipment?" Like, and that doesn't mean I was necessarily a hard worker. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I think it also provided me like an escape from the world and the reality of the world as a young kid for whatever I was going through at the time or whatever. So it just meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And it still does. It's funny. I've made the joke the other day is that I've worked my whole career to do the same thing I did at the beginning of my career, which is hang out in my basement, dress however I want to dress, come in and work with great people and just make songs every day. I realized like I had to go around the full world circuit and the gambit and accomplish and touch the top of the mountain to realize that the process is actually the whole reason to wake up. It's the process. It's nothing else. It's the process.
What does the process look like to you? Like when you're like making music?
Yeah.
Because
now it's different. I mean, like early on the process was just out in LA, studio till 8 in the morning, fall asleep, wake up, eat something shitty, and go back at it at 2, 3 p.m. and then just never leave the studio. And just never, and however you sleep is how you sleep, and whatever you do is how you do it. And I think that's a young man's game. I got 3 kids now. And I can't do that anymore for my health and circadian rhythm and all that stuff. Because I realize now that like stopping my day purposefully at the same time every day actually forces me to be more creative because I get to walk away from it. So I'm in the shower the next morning or before I go to bed at night, I can think about the song from like a macro standpoint, if that makes sense. So the process now is just Monday through Friday, 11 to 7. Without question, Monday through Friday, 11 to 7. Sometimes I don't work Fridays, but yeah, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm just whatever the boys want to do and hang out with, yeah.
So, okay, this is actually interesting because 11 to 7, Monday through Friday, you're waking, let's say it's like a Tuesday, it's 11 a.m. How are you starting music? Like, what is, like, is it different every day? Or, like, do you have
Yeah, definitely. It depends. Like, literally last week, Camila Cabello I have a studio house connected to my house, like, in the back. Oh, that sounded so... she was here. She was here for the week with her mom, and she stayed, and they did press and did a bunch of stuff at the house. But every morning from 11 to 7, she came with DeLacy, who's a super talented writer, Pete Nappy, and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. First time I ever worked with him. Fetty. A guy named Fetty. He's a super talented producer. He's amazing. How do you spell it? Fede. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows I work with him too. He was here, and we were in this room, and every morning at 11 we'd write stuff on the board. And what's our goal here? Who are you trying to be? What's your goal? What do you like about your last album? What do you not like about your last? Who are you now? Let's dive into it. And throughout the week, you're kind of fishing, and you're kind of hoping something shows up. But in general, it's a pretty chill vibe out here. It's like taking a break, going outside. My kids are running around. It's a pretty holistic approach to all of it. It's not so LA.
Yeah, I said this to you before, that like one of my favorite things to do with these is to always go out to the person, because I feel they feel most comfortable in their space. Which
is one of the reasons I was so happy to do this. I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I was like, he's gonna come through here? I was like, tell him to come through. I love that.
So you talked about making thousands upon thousands of songs back in the day, but when did you become proud of the music you made, or like even confident in it? Was it like right away, or did it take a while?
That's a crazy question. You could even ask my dad. Maybe he'll be walking around at some point. He used to play the songs that I would make, and he used to take them from my computer, and I used to burn them on CDs and sell them at school. So like I'd have CDs all over my room, and he used to take them, and then like we'd have family over, or he'd have people over, and he'd play them in the backyard. And I remember as like a 16-year-old like covering my ears, being like, don't play that. It's not the radio.
Yeah.
So I always had this like weird realistic look at my music. Like even at 16, I'd be like, don't play them, the stuff that I'm working on. I'd be like in the backyard like cringing, even though it was something I recently made, because I would just be listening to Timbaland, or I would just be listening to the Neptunes, or I would just be listening to something Rick Rubin did, or, you know, even Tedder. I mean, he's been around so long. It's like I would just be listening to the radio, and I would constantly be in my car turning on the radio and then putting in a CD and turning on the radio and being like, why does their drums, like what is the magic that they're doing of the drums and the pre going into the melodic math and like the sonics behind what was going on? It had this sheen or this pop or this feel that was just like somebody making a shoe in their garage, or somebody making like a Jordan. Like you're just like, why do I not know how to make the Jordan? Is it the factory? Is it the stitching? Is it the whatever? And I've always had like a very realistic sense of myself, or to some degree at least, to be as successful of whatever success means. But there's always been this like, not yet. I have it, but this isn't good enough. I know I have it, but this isn't good. I got to make 300 more. I know I have it, but this isn't on that level. It's not the same level. And then I'd kind of like play stuff in high school at parties and see people's reactions, or I'd always be like, is this moving the party along? What's the utility of a song? How are they making songs that make people want to dance? It's like, oh, there's like rhythms and pockets and things going. It's always just, to this day, I'm still like playing things for people who don't really listen to even music that much, or people that don't know about music or whatever. I've always had this curiosity around it. I've always had a weird confidence. Again, you could ask my dad. We have this conversation all the time. This is probably 15 years ago, 17 years ago. My dad brings it up every time something is accomplished. He goes, remember that time we spoke? I was telling my dad, like, I don't know what I have, but I have it. I see it and I know it. I see it and I know it. It's like, I don't know, I don't want to work at the catering hall anymore. Like, I know I have this thing. It was 3 a.m. I'm like pacing back and forth in my dad's house. I remember it so vividly. And just being like, and he's like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know, but it exists in me, and I can do this. So I don't know if that even answers your question. I get passionate about it, but like, it's just like, when was I confident in it? Some days I'm the greatest living musician breathing, and then other days I'm like, I don't even know if I could do this anymore. It just depends on my...
So it goes back and forth even today?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. To this day, if I leave the studio with nothing, my wife knows. I come up to the kitchen. She's like, how'd it go today? I'm like, I don't even know, man. Like, do I even do this? Like, how do you make a hit? You know, like at 33 years old, I'm like, how did I do that so many times? Will I ever do that again? The landscape's so different, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other days where we make something that I love so much that I'm obsessed with. I'm just like, nobody fucking with me. But I think that me giving myself the grace to be so up and so down on that spectrum gives me also the grace to explore emotionally, which is why I'm probably consistently potent, because humans can interact with emotion rather than just like being skillful. Like, you watch somebody play a piano or some shit incredibly, and some of the chords go over your head. It doesn't necessarily like move you. You know what I mean? Like, the most talented people in the world sometimes don't make the best shit to listen to. So, sorry,
There's
a lot in there.
yeah, but what you were saying, like, the simplicity is a talent in of itself, like making something that many people can connect with. And even something, I'm sure that there's times when you make a song and you're like, there's no way this is ever going to be a hit, and it just becomes this massive song.
Absolutely, yes, that's happened multiple times to me. Yeah, for sure.
If you're watching this, there's a good chance you want to put out music, you already put out music, or know someone who puts out music. And what most people don't know, it was almost impossible to do that back in the day. In fact, Queen had to sell their van just to record their first album. It was impossible to put out music back in the day, and when I wanted to first put out music around 6 years ago, it felt so complicated and expensive, and I didn't know where to start. Well, that was until I found DistroKid. DistroKid is the actual music distribution platform that I've been using for years now. It is seamless, it is easy, it allows me to post my music to every single streaming platform at an annual flat rate. Prices don't change, you don't pay per release, it's just one price that you pay for the year, and you can upload as many songs as you want. There's no gatekeeping, it's just upload and go. And if you're collaborating with other artists, DistroKid makes the process so easy, no more awkward convos, you just split it up based on percentage and it automatically distributes royalties directly. Plus, they have tools to help our music sound even more professional, like Mixia, a mastering tool that lets you polish your music without spending a ton of time or money. But here's one of the most important things. Unlike other distribution platforms, DistroKid takes no percentage of your royalties. So you as an independent artist get to keep 100% of your music royalties. So if and when you're ready to share your music with the world, check out DistroKid. It's had my back for over 6 years now. Head to the description now to check it out for yourself at a discount.
And now let's get back to one of the greatest musicians ever, Jon Bellion. Something you said, I think, is one of the most important things, and it's something I found very fascinating about your story, which is, I don't want to go back to the catering hall. And I feel like a lot of creatives have to work a job that they don't want to in order to be, like, to get on the path that they want. Tell me about, like, that time in your life, and how did you, like, continue to work at the catering hall while also doing music?
That was probably now over a decade ago, so it's like relatively blurry, but like I just remember,
because you were like working at the catering hall as
I was, and then I was working at the catering hall, and then like got fired, or something happened where I like lost my job. 3 days later, that's when I got a really, really huge phone call from. I was selling CDs in college, and I was selling them out of Ziploc bags for like $7 a pop. And someone got their hands, one of the interns that used to go to the school, knew someone who was at the school, gave it to this dude, Matt Massey, who's now actually one of the heads of my company. He got it to Cara DiGuardi, and he was an intern for her at the time, and he was like, yo, I found this kid that goes to Five Towns College, and here's his songs. And there was like something like 350 songs that were on like a ROM CD that she like listened to, and just kind of called me out of my sleep one day, like 3 days after I got fired from the catering hall, and was like, found your number through your college. There'll be a limousine coming to your house to come and pick you up. I'm like, get the fuck. And Matt, who called me at the time, he never spoke to me. He called me out of the blue and was like, I found your mixtape. I found your number through Five Towns College. Like, you go there. It's my cell phone. He's like, I got you a meeting with the woman who was on American Idol, like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, literally, you can ask Matt. I was like, dude, who the fuck is calling my phone, bro? It's like 8:45 in the morning. Like, I've had too many disappointments, like, cut the shit kind of thing. And he was like, I'm telling you, she's going to call you. And then, like, 10 minutes later, my phone rang from a number I didn't have, and I picked it up, and she's like, hi, I'm Cara DiGuardi. Who are you? I'm like, I'm John. Are you really, is it really you? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking about? Because at that time, she was on American Idol. She was, like, a huge songwriter. She had a bunch of hits with Kelly Clarkson, and it's like a big time. And, she was like, we want to sign the producer, we want to sign the writer, we want to sign the guy who's mixing it. I was like, that's just me in my dorm room. She literally was like, click, and the limousine came and picked up me and my dad, drove us into the city from Long Island. Yeah, I called my dad. I was someone just called me, they're gonna get in a limo. My dad was like, don't get in a freaking limo at all if someone's coming to pick you, know what I mean? And we ended up both going in. We went into the city. I played the keys for her, played her a bunch more songs that I had, and probably 8 or 9 months later, Eminem and Rihanna, The Monster.
Yeah, so that's crazy. I definitely want to talk about that.
That kind of just blew up, fast.
Yeah. How do you measure... Okay, so this is interesting, because, like, nowadays, I think everyone, especially in the social media age, is so focused on, like, success tied with numbers.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, high streams, high views, high money, whatever that is.
Yep.
How do you measure success for your music, and then also, what does success look like to you now? And yeah, let's just start there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, dude. That's like the most meta question like of all time. I'm of the ilk of I would appreciate it if Spotify, Apple, they didn't post numbers. Explode the internet. I know. It's like that's how you gauge success. There's nothing to change. I don't know how we would change it. I just think that I've heard things with less streams that I'm way more inspired by that I think is way tighter than some of the stuff that has a bajillion streams. And I've made some of the stuff with a bajillion streams. So it's like I've made things that don't have a bajillion streams, and I made things that have some of the most streams out of all songs to ever be made. So it's like what I've noticed throughout all of it is that comes this prowess with numbers that kind of inflates the opinion around what the art actually is. But art is also super subjective. So it's like I don't really have an answer for it. But as far as numbers goes, like being super real.
Yeah.
I have not checked the numbers on Father Figure and what it's done. He tells me every once in a while, like, yo, you know you broke 10 million streams today. You know you broke 15 million streams today. Yo, this thing's moving, and why? Because we just dropped a song called Why with Luke Combs.
Yeah,
officially
love it.
2 or 3 days ago. You know, got 1 million streams the first day, 1 million streams the second day. It's averaging 500,000 streams a day now. It was like, yeah, cool. So what happens if it gets 10 billion streams? Like, I don't know. Because then it's like, do we bring it to radio and I pay $250,000 to then go do that over there on the radio game? And I don't know. To be honest with you, this whole project for me, I've treated it as just like one giant little drop into if the bucket has white water in it, I have a black ink dropper and I just want to drop black ink into the white water to see how culture can be affected. The numbers, I can't get wrapped up in that. Like even we just dropped tickets. I don't know the temperature for people coming to see shows with me anymore because it's been so long since I've toured, and I walked away at the peak of my touring career. We did 10,000 people at Jones Beach was the last show that we played, which is like it's a pretty big venue on Long Island.
Yeah.
We dropped tickets to this thing and sold. There's only 300 tickets. It's the first show I ever played in a small place called SOBs, but the tickets sold out in 18 seconds or something.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then today we did another one because we were kind of like, a lot of people are upset and we misjudged. I did a fake Instagram and a forum away from social media to try to gauge and keep it healthy and not get wrapped up in this numbers thing. I'm trying to control that expectation or whatever, to do things that just make me happy. And we sold out in 20 seconds, the warehouse. We have full-blown warehouse. So what are the numbers and what is success and whatever? I'm losing money on shooting all these videos. I'm losing money on giving writers points. I'm losing money on putting together a show at SOBs and making sure the ticket price is low enough for people to afford it. I'm losing money.
Yeah.
Many people would say that this has just been a giant loss financially for me because I've seen $0 from all of it. I'm bringing in some of the best producers in the world, giving them a fair shake, making sure writers get a point. So what do the numbers mean? Well, monetarily, this album has been a failure out of the gate because I'm in the negative. Maybe we put up a giant show and sell out 14,000 people, and maybe I lose $100,000 on that because we want to make the tickets affordable and whatever. Yeah. But so people would say Jon Bellion's business isn't in the green right now musically, but who knows what culture will bring my way in the future?
Yeah.
Because I'm considering this me spending millions of dollars on a commercial for myself. So you can't quantify success. Like the Jonas Brothers album was not their most popular album that I did for them. Mm-hmm. And critically, it was very split 50-50. People either said, I hate that you tried to push the Jonas Brothers in the direction, or other people were like, this sound feels so new. But Pharrell called me because of that album. When I got to Pharrell, because he was like, man, what the fuck you did with those boys, blah, 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 what the fuck? Who's playing on that? It's like, oh, those are my producers. Blah, blah, blah. And then I see Pharrell every 4 months. He jumps on my shit and helps me with my songs, and he's been a mentor to me. So what is data? What is numbers? What is success? What is culture? What is all of it? As it starts to get more analytical, it starts to get less defined of what success is because there's no gatekeepers. Success for me is just like if I was ecstatic doing what I'd love to do every single fucking day, if you told me I had 0 streams, I would still praise God. If I was miserable and had 17,000 bajillion streams and became the fucking president of music, but I wanted to kill myself, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Was there ever, because you said like...
not that those have to be mutually exclusive. Not that people who are doing so successful Taylor Swift numbers are so miserable. I'm not saying that they're in the wrong. I'm just saying like, it's tough to stop the guy that loves what he... Oh, I don't even care that you do or don't like it. I'm just enjoying myself. It's hard to stop that guy. You can't bully that guy
True. Yeah, because you just do what you love.
I'm not even in this for you liking it or disliking it.
Yeah.
I am feeling something and I'm crying every freaking 3 days because I love this song that I'm making. It's like I've won. Okay, shut that off, go up, enjoy, balance, health. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's such a deep question. The numbers are what generate the attention, which generates your ideas being viable. So you always have to kind of be worried about your relevancy, because the deepest fear, I think, of all creatives is that the deepest fear is that their product and their ideas are not respected. Therefore, they're not viable. Therefore, they're not listened to. Therefore, they'll be left on an island alone to never be listened to ever again, which is why some producers fear falling off, or artists feel falling off. And they hate to go on YouTube and see the clip of why so-and-so fell off. Or it's like, what are numbers? I don't even fucking know.
Was there like 8 years ago you talked about getting like...
I don't even know if I answered that in any way, but...
You did. 8 years ago you talked about getting your first number one. Not even number... I don't know why I did that. You're getting your first number one. Yeah. The Monster. Mm-hmm. Was there a time where you ever measured success based on getting number ones or like awards or anything like Billboard number one hits? Or no?
Yes and no. It was like the first day that came out... The first day that song came out, immediately I almost like felt borderline suicidal, just because it was 2 days after it came out, and I already was like, yeah, but the great ones do too. Anyone can get one. Like, I was like, oh my God, even just hearing that voice in my head, like, be like, you worked the last 10 years of your life to get to this position, and by day 2, I was like, yeah, but the great ones have 6. And how old am I? Like, how old am I? How many did Benny have before he was turned this age and the legend of the da-da-da-da-da? It was like, shit, 1. Back to work. I haven't accomplished shit. And that, once I heard that voice in my own head say that, I was like, uh-oh, there's something to analyze here. So you definitely have to keep that in perspective.
Is that voice still there?
Absolutely. To say that I've reached some sort of like sensei fucking level of like whatever. But also bless God that I think that way sometimes, because I think that's what's driven the level of success maybe that I've had. But it also can be a big dark monkey on your back, for sure.
If you're a full-time artist, producer, creative, you're probably always on the move, and I completely understand, because I am always traveling to do interviews, and I'm constantly living at airports, Airbnbs, and hotels, and I always gotta use the same annoying public Wi-Fi, where all my information is free for anyone to grab. Well, 4 years ago, I was so tired of this, I did some research on VPNs, and I found my favorite VPN, NordVPN. No matter where I am, it works across all devices, and I can connect up to 10 devices, which is great for me because I'm constantly living half of my life on the internet. And on top of that, NordVPN lets you change your location to any one of 118 different countries, which helped me a ton when I wanted to rewatch Prison Break last year when it wasn't available anywhere else. But I could get it on another streaming service if I changed my location to the UK. This is actually true. This actually happened. It even has a feature that protects you from threats. When you're browsing the internet and a sketchy website comes up, or all these annoying things that you have to deal with that you don't even realize is there, NordVPN works in the background to block malware, phishing schemes, and anything that could really be a problem when you're browsing the internet and don't even realize it's there. Plus, it's crazy fast and probably the best VPN I've ever used. So if you want to try it for yourself, go to nordvpn.com/wall to get a big discount on a 2-year plan plus 4 months free. And there's zero risk because it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So head to the description, nordvpn.com/wall to try it out today. And now let's return to Jon Bellion.
So what's interesting is, like, I was watching, going back to all the interviews you did. 8 years ago during an interview, you said you had 3 goals in life. Do you remember what those 3 goals were?
No.
You said go on a ton of vacations with a lot of your friends. Want a really dope fish tank in your house.
I'm still arguing with my wife about that, but literally he's laughing because literally 2 days ago I was just talking about with my wife, and she was like, it's gonna stink up the house for not having this conversation.
In the basement?
That's what I said. Let me do it in the basement.
Like,
Well, you should. I'm gonna bring her in here. And you should have that conversation with her. Yeah, that's amazing.
And then the last one was do what you want when you want.
Yeah.
What are your 3 goals in life now?
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. Help people. Quality of life and quality of life. That would probably be the top 3. Especially when you, like, and I have to speak this way because it's just the reality. Like, when you've rung the bell so many times, you really start to reposition what's my purpose here? Because at one point it was just like, I just want to have as many hits as I can have because I just like a bunch of hits. I like a bunch of money. I like this. And then when you do it, and one flops, or one does really, really well, or a bunch don't work, and it crushes your spirits, and then you say, oh, am I only identifying with the success of the hits that I have? Well, that's not healthy. Well, then what am I doing this for? It's like this return to a holistic approach to the process. It sounds like super pseudo and like heady, but like, I hate saying this. I hate because you want to grab nuggets of information to help people in the utility of whatever. Mm-hmm. But I really can't lie to you. Like, I don't do interviews ever, so I tend to get emotional when talking about things because I'm just not used to this process because I've been like talking so much with so many people for this album in such a short, fast amount of time. Like, I really love my life. Like, I really do. It's 3 things that I want, or like those 3 boys. Yeah. It's been a long road to homeostasis. It's been I've been doing this for a really long time. I've had to question why I do it thousands of times. I've had to show up every day to work. And to come to the conclusion that you're just an instrument, you're not the guy playing it. It takes the pressure off. And you just show up to every day and say, I'm the instrument. If God wants to come in the room and play me today, he does. And if he doesn't, that's great too. My quality of life lately has been pretty great. People are always like, oh, the show sold out in 2 seconds. And dude, you don't even realize you can go do all these tours and this. And the last thing people want to hear is just like, I also just like am okay. One thing I do believe deeply in my heart is that the things I'm saying on this album will help people. Makes me emotional. That's all I want to accomplish this year, is that this album helps people. And I don't mean people who are so great that don't need help. I mean people who need help.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say something that really stood out about this album in particular is that, you know, a lot of artists make songs about, you know, love, heartbreak, success. But you're making an album about, like, fatherhood, which really stood out. One of the things that you made in the making of the Wash video, you said that I want to make being a present dad cool.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, was creating that concept scary? And then also, was there pressure to make it commercially successful?
Yes, I think all of it. It's like yeah, because there's a fine line between like humanity and vanity. There's 2 things there, and when those 2 things intersect in a great way, it usually is a really potent product. Too much humanity, it's like After School Special. Too much vanity, it's like, I don't even like you. You're such an asshole. But we in us at the same time, we have humanity and vanity. So how do you take the humanity of the fear around being a present father and the vanity of wanting to change music? And then if you can combine those 2 things, you might end up with something that looks like the newest shoe you've ever seen. So I'm shooting to make the newest shoe you've ever seen and talk about things that you haven't heard, or present concepts and shapes of the heel and the tongue of the shoe. Like, I'm shooting to do that. And if that doesn't happen, how do you quantify if that does happen, and what's the measure of culture? You don't. You're not able to. But is there a pressure? Not particularly. It's more about like the internal struggle of trying to put out an album that you're constantly like, you're not the guy to do that. You are a guy who struggles to be present. You are a guy who loses his patience with his children. You are a guy that messes up, that says the wrong thing to the person in the studio, that lets his ego get ahead of him. Why would you put out an album encouraging people to be a better father? You're not the father you need to be now. And it's like, oh, that's why I need to make this. Because I need to tell myself that no matter where I'm at, I can be better. So if there's any fathers that don't even think that they're capable of being better, if this could be like an espresso shot for you in the morning, that gives me a lot of purpose when I wake up in the morning. If the numbers are great and the tour sells out and the whatever, it's like, I don't know, great, I'm already rich. It's not like it's a financial, yay, I don't have to be like broke anymore. It's not that. So if I do see that people are affected within the family structure and the family unit, that would be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not the fucking like leader of the fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like this album's really, it's to encourage myself. But I know if I'm honest with myself and I'm encouraging myself, then by auxiliary, someone will be encouraged as well. Because I'm not prescribing a life for anybody. I'm just, this shit, I listen back to it and it juices me the fuck up because that's how I feel about how I want to chase after my family and my life.
Yeah. I guess the title being father figure, what does being a father figure mean to you then?
That's the whole record. What is the figure of a father now? Like, I won't say a lot of men. Like, I'm not going to have a fucking TED talk about, like, it's just not, I just make the songs. But I will say, I can't speak for culture, but I can speak for myself. And what I find is that there's just not a lot of, there's a lot of the world reminding everyone how much of a piece of shit they are. We've done that pretty well. And there's a lot of, I'm so spectacular, you should come and live a life like mine because I do what I want when I want. There's not a ton of like, cut the grass, go to work motherfucker who may have regrets in his life and is struggling to be present with his kids because he just wants to go have that drink at the bar, or that guy. It's tough for me to find the espresso shot for that guy.
Yeah.
Because I think we've threw the baby out with the bathwater in the struggle for masculinity. What is a dad? What isn't a dad? Correcting the injustices of, and you end up being like, so then what the fuck is my purpose? It's like, if we were like tilling the land at what point, and then the food went to the supermarket, and then the fucking food gets delivered to the door, and we're just in an air-conditioned house being safe in luxury. It's like you kind of have this existential dread that we're all pretending is not there currently, like in America. And by the way, I'm not some fucking, I don't need to go have a conversation with fucking Jordan Peterson about like the fucking masculine culture and then someone's opposing view on it. I'm not making any claims. I'm just like making an album. But I walked away for many years, and I've been around a lot of guys. When I left LA, a lot of just like the guys who were just like, I don't know if I'm left, I don't know if I'm right. I just like trying to take care of my kids, and my job is a struggle, and I'm tired, and paying my bills is tough. I don't need to be the fucking Martin Luther King of those guys. I'm just, that feels like the market we could provide something for them.
Yeah.
What is a father figure? That's the struggle.
That's what the album is, right?
It's a tantrum. It's a tantrum of me trying to figure that out. Yeah. A lot of the singles that we've dropped, Wash, Horoscope, even Why, those are really the only chill records. Like on the album gets wild. It's like it gets into this beat your chest gorilla dad crazy energy. And then you said Hand to God was your favorite outro. The outro on the album actually is the opposite of all my other outros. It's the most singular, naked, 2 instruments. It's the opposite of every other outro I've ever done on a record.
Sick.
Yeah, but like the point is being is like there's a song called Father Figure on the album Father Figure, and I'm saying like I'm talking to myself, like it's this negative self-talk, but I'm also thanking my dad for the things that he's given to me to bring to my kids, and I'm talking about protecting my kids and how do I protect my kids, and look at you trying to make a song about protecting your kids. It's all in the same song. So the struggle to fit into the figure of a father, Yes, what is a father figure? I don't know, but maybe this album could get me a step closer to figuring that out. That's the longest answer ever.
It's probably something that you'll tackle for, or like try to figure out for the rest of your life. 'Cause
Absolutely.
that's what it is, right? It's ever evolving, just like music.
Yep. And I have this weird, I talk about it in therapy a lot. Me and my wife joke about it. I have this weird dual life that's very odd. It's like I'm like constantly pretending that I'm normal, but I am. But I've like forced normalcy. So the normalcy's kind of like punched into my life, and I've like strangleholded on to being normal. But there's also this like, Lou picks me up in the morning and I go do Kirk Franklin and the Jonas Brothers on Saturday Night Live, and then like I'm sitting in traffic on the way home to go clean shit diapers. It's like an odd
Duality.
It's a very weird duality.
Yeah.
So I'm still, like you said, figuring out for the rest of my life. I'll be figuring this shit out for the rest of my life. I'm not really sure. I'm still not really sure.
One of the things that I love about your music, though, is like you've written songs that I love, and also some of the biggest hits. But like your music itself is really interesting, because I was like, I was re-listening to your songs while I was working out in your amazing home gym. I was listening to your songs,
Okay.
and I noticed that like, okay, Hand of God, and like The Human Condition, incredible album, is this like pop cinematic masterpiece that feels very consumable for like anyone to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, it feels like you did interview after interview after interview after interview, and like people were like asking you, as you said, like the same 10 questions
Yep.
every single time. And I was
Yep.
listening to all of them, and I was like, I would get tired of this too. Like I
Yeah.
understand, like it, and also probably touring at the same time, it probably just felt like such a
So draining.
thing
Yep.
over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I, at the time, I even saw like you had the art of all the Pixar movies. Love Pixar, and it seemed like that was like a big thing to be like, I want to create like a cinematic experience that anyone can listen to. But then Glory Sound Prep happens, and I even wrote this down, and like Human Condition feels like this is like I'm gonna prove to the world what I can do. But then Glory Sound Prep feels like I've already shown you that. Here's who I am.
Yes. Or the deconstruction of whatever the Human Condition thing was. Like,
Yeah.
you're watching it kind of like unfold in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. That was the intention. I mean, I think it was within the first 2 hours of dropping Glory Sound Prep that morning, I was trending in Nigeria that like this was the worst album ever made, and I was washed up and the whole thing. Yeah. Switching your sound I've noticed, is just through the gate. Everyone hates it, and then when you switch the sound again, they have euphoric recall from 6 years prior, and they're like,
this is also terrible, but this thing from 6 years ago is great. That's
I dropped the GSP, they were like, it's not Human Condition, and now I'm dropping the singles for Father Figure, and they're all like, well,
it's
Glory
not-
Sound Prep had a feel to it that I just wish the funky beats, man. It's like, bro, it's fucking almost 7 years ago. What are we talking about? Like, if I wasn't growing, like, people are still comparing me to certain artists, and I haven't put out music in like 6 years, 7 years. Like, what are we talking about? Like, but I think after this album drops, that is going to be night.
But it also
That's
like
going to bed.
feels like you've always had this like this belief in yourself where everyone was almost like against the music. Like, did people believe in The Human Condition and All Time Low when you were first?
No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah, they told me that the cover was, like, I had to go into a label meeting, and they had to sit me down to tell me that the cover was just like plain stupid. Like, this cover's just dumb. Like, you shouldn't liken yourself to Disney. Like, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, yeah, but it's like round, and the sounds are very colorful, and it's new, and it's bright, and it's like, this is exactly what I should liken myself to. And they were just like, why don't, literally, him as my witness, somebody was like, why don't you put like gum on someone's shoe on the street? And I asked them, I said, do you know about my other album covers? And they were like, I'm like, name me what one of my album covers looked like. And they were like, oh, I don't know your other album covers. I'm like, okay, I'm not listening to anybody in this building for the rest of all eternity. But yeah.
Did
Yeah.
they believe in All Time Low as like
No.
a single?
No, not until we were on tour and the tickets started going upside down, and then radio promoters started getting invited through the label to the shows. And then they were just like, oh, okay, people apparently like this, like, let's try it. And then the song, I think, just kind of like exploded. And then it had that double life, triple life every 2 or 3 years.
On
Some
TikTok,
younger
I saw it.
generation
Yeah,
like
yeah.
grabs it and then puts it in something, Fortnite or whatever the fuck. Yeah, so no, they don't believe in it. But that is a testament to, like, if the song works 10 years later, I'm always thinking or trying to think that way.
It's evergreen.
Yes, and I'm always trying to forecast the future so that when it gets put up against anything that comes out for the continuation of the 3 years, it will always like stand the test of time against whatever's happening. So when you first drop it, people look at it and they say, because people don't know how to, they didn't know how to look at the human condition. I don't think they knew even how to look at it. Like, this is what the fuck is even being presented to me. And like, and then in like each year, the culture kind of moves itself toward that direction, and then you start to favorably look at the thing you were confused by 3 years prior. And I've noticed that that's just what gets me out of bed in the morning. So I'm always going to make some shit I'm frustrated by, because I'm always like, how do people not hear that this is XYZ? Because out the gate, people are always like, especially with my shit, I don't know why, people are always like, his last shit grew on me, but this shit sucks. It's like, it's always that same fucking,
I feel like you need time, maybe, like, to sit with something.
What are we talking about here, bro? Yeah, in the age of 24-hour reviewers, or the kid that wants to be the funniest comment, negative or positive, that's the top comment. And then kids who have no opinions because they're 14 and fucking have no idea what's going on are going to like comment on the comment to be the one that has the top comment of the comment. And then a narrative springs forth in culture about a song that people don't even believe what the top comment was. They just know that that's what most people think. These narratives, they take control, and I think the public has had I'm not even going to go down that road. Never mind. I was about to go full fucking burn the house down. But to answer your question, what was your fucking question? I'm talking so much. We have to edit this, whatever this is, just throwing that out into the world.
Well, it was pretty much like, did people believe in all-time low in the human condition was the start of it. And it sounds like people didn't.
In the building, in the making the cannon to shoot the shot and to load the cannon up to have the support to try to make it go, people did not believe. No. Not at all. Everyone was kind of like, we don't even understand what this is. Which, by the way, you can't necessarily blame him. I was trying to make something super inspiring or futuristic for writers and producers.
Yeah, it's a fun song. The whole vibe is really great. For anyone out there who hasn't listened to The Human Condition, I always do this one thing with friends or family. I do this every single time. I'm like, have you heard of Jon Bellion? And if they haven't, I go, okay, here's the suggestion. If you're in an hour ride, car ride, always a car ride, you start and you play The Human Condition from top to bottom. And you just kind of say, like, just pay attention to the choruses throughout. And then when you get to Hand of God, it's incredible. It's like, so I come from like the Broadway world too. Like, I grew up doing Broadway, and it feels like a medley.
I love that. What's your all-time favorite Broadway
show?
Yeah.
Book of Mormon. That's just like I just But like,
do you have plans for Broadway?
I did like a lot of shows as a kid. So I was like in I was Gavroche and like Les Mis.
Yeah.
Like I had a British accent and everything. Climbed up a ladder.
As your platform grows, would you ever want to have an opportunity to like jump into like jumping on stage and doing something like on Broadway?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I have this dream.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of How I Met Your Mother at all?
I've seen it. I've seen it.
So there's like this famous thing where Neil Patrick Harris and Jason Segel sing the Confrontation song. And I've always wanted to interview both of them and then like try to do a thing where we get them to sing the Confrontation song again on the Tonys. And like that's like one of my dreams in life to make happen, just something super random that I'd love to do.
Do you have like a passion in your heart to be singing on stage, to be inside of the show? Like, because you said you were into Broadway, were you more of like an enjoyer of it, or like creatively you loved being on stage and like participating in like high school things? And
yeah, it was definitely like being a part and like being on stage was a big thing for me. And like as I've like continued to like getting more involved in doing it again, it's just like working with vocal coaches and having to like treat your voice a certain way. It feels like so much work. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to figure out, I guess, what's right for me and how to keep music alive in my life. Because I started out as like a songwriter, producer.
Really?
And then, yeah.
What kind of music were you doing?
Broadway. Like indie pop.
You should play me some shit.
We could do it after. This one's about you.
No, dude, I'm like fascinated. You know what's cool is that have you been interviewing people and keeping that alive through these interviews and just being next to music and talking with writers and producers and stuff? Has that kept that alive for you, or do you miss some of the hands-on creative stuff? No, I this is fascinating. He was playing me a bunch of clips that because I don't have like TikTok or anything on my phone. So he when the whole interview question even came up to be brought in front of me, they were like, this is him. So they just sent me a bunch of links of you talking or whatever. I was like, he's like super knowledgeable enough to where I'm like, I wonder if he was ever a producer. So do you love, is there any piece of you now that's like, I'd love to get in a session with one of these guys or like whatever?
Yeah, 100%.
I love that you're honest about that. I love that.
But
I love
okay,
that.
I've
You
talked
could probably
about
parlay fucking, you blowing Ryan Tedder's TikTok up overnight or whatever. You could probably parlay a fucking session with the motherfucker. Like just call him.
I
I'll
feel
call
like
him.
here's the truth though. Like I feel like that's something I'd love to do, but like this is gonna sound crazy. I feel like a real imposter syndrome with it, because like I got
With
into
what?
these rooms not by writing, but by like
Oh, dude, we're all imposters. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, you have just as much of a right to be in a room given your success on creating pieces of
why do
content and whatever.
Why do you say that?
The fuck are we all? I don't like. Like, what do you got to do? Like, slave over a song in a basement for 15 years before like people are like, did you slave enough? Come on in and write this song. Like, you might be able to write a great song just being around and having the taste that you do of hit makers and producers and what. I'm a guy that's just like, why not? It could definitely have it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you saying that.
No, absolutely. I think it's just interesting
Like
to
if
see
you
your
believe
knowledge.
in me, then like I should believe in me.
Oh, bro. Yeah, I believe in you, to say the least. Yeah, I definitely do. I think your perspective is just interesting. All the clips that I saw you talk about, you have a deep knowledge of production and writing. So it'd be interesting to see you even just like take a stab at it at least. That'd be great. Why not?
Yeah, it's interesting. I to answer your question, I feel like I was, and then for 6 months I haven't been, because it's just, if it makes sense, like when I was creating music alone for so long.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yep.
Like when I started making music with others, it like brought a light back, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. I don't work alone ever anymore. I don't do shit alone. Unless there's like a top line, the song's done, and I just hop in the basement and help somebody out and send it back to them. I'm never creating from scratch alone. I did that a lot the first 10 years of my career, but it's not fun. It's not fun for me anymore. It's like the human thing is great. That's why COVID fucking killed me. Like these Zoom sessions, I was just like not working
Did
at
you
all.
do them at all? Like the Zoom sessions?
I'm trying to think what got cut out of the Zoom shit. We did one with Bieber and Miley. They both recorded a song, and it never came out. But I think it's the only song that I really worked on.
I feel like you being in the room like adds so much.
Oh,
to
for
it.
sure. The energy. Some producers can sell salt to a slug. It's like you gotta be, you know what I mean? Like you gotta, being in person is very advantageous, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten a ton of cuts just from cold sending songs to artists on their phone. Here's an MP3. They hit me up, call me, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna cut this tomorrow. That's happened 80% of the songs that have ever gone number one for me, but I do enjoy getting in the room with the artists.
Do you still like make songs like as like a songwriting powerhouse team and then present them to artists? Like, does that happen a lot, or is there like artists mostly making songs for like with you now, like exclusively?
In my career now at this point,
Yeah.
I'm being sought out by the artists. We're getting together, and it's a way deeper. Lately, the last probably year of my career has been more of like Camilla coming with her mom to stay on the property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To hang out, eat food, and talk and see where we want to go direction-wise. Or the Jonas Brothers contacting me and being like, we just want to go for it. You, what would you do if you were a fan of us and blah, 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 blah. Like, you have more of an opportunity to get with them. So yeah, more of recent I've been with the artists. I've said it on a bunch of podcasts. We live in an age too where all the biggest guys got their people.
Yeah.
Taylor's got Desner. Fucking Billy's got, Phineas.
Dan, Olivia.
Yeah. There you go. It's like, would all the producers and writers submit songs and be like, you think Olivia would be great for this? And then everyone's like, yeah, she'd probably sound great singing this, but like, she's going to want to write about her experience.
Yeah.
Because she's so fucking talented. Especially when the artist is a great songwriter, like Olivia or Taylor, or just like generational level songwriters
Yeah.
of whatever. And Billy, like all like ridiculous. You can't even be mad at that. It's like, you got to let them do what they got to do.
Over the last few years, I've sat down with some of the greatest minds in all of music, and they've told me stories and given me some of the best tips that changed my entire perspective on creating. And I'm looking to give that to you because I'm hoping that it can help you just as much as it helped me. My goal with Behind the Wall is to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. It's to inspire the next generation of creatives, but it's also to create the platform that I wish I had when I first started making music, when I first started being creative creator, when I first started making videos. Behind the Wall has taught me so much on this journey, and I want to take these lessons that I've learned and help the next generation. So I put together 15 of the most important and impactful lessons that I've learned on my own journey from these people directly, from some of the greatest minds in all of music. People like Chris Martin of Coldplay, Benny Blanco, Ryan Tedder, Julia Michaels, Amy Allen, Bonnie McKee, Savan Kotecha. So many of the greatest minds in all of music, people that I had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing. People like Ryan Tedder, who gave me one of the greatest pieces of advice that helped me on my own journey. People like Benny Blanco, who changed my entire perspective 6 years into making music. People like Marshmello, who taught me that as long as something sounds good to you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And I'm looking to pass this knowledge on to you, which will be 15 lessons from the greatest minds in music, which will be in the description completely for free. Check it out in the description below. And now let's return to Jon Bellion.
I love the tangent away.
I'm very, very fascinated at you. You represent this new opportunity for people to be an arbiter of culture. It's just very, 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 very interesting. And to have the way your mind works, however it's worked, you've gotten to a place where you're having conversations with people that are tough to have conversations with. So if you were ever to try music and producing, it could be very, very interesting now at this level. You know what I mean? Like, you're just an interesting cat. I feel like you'd be a creative force to some degree. I mean that. I really do.
That.
Yeah.
And like
absolutely.
the perspective might come in differently. Like,
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're grabbing nuggets from the top fucking 10 guys, you know what I mean? Like, in the world, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole other thing.
And like, it's interesting because a lot of, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to say who, but like some like the biggest record labels were saying like, we didn't know people even cared about this stuff until we started seeing your videos.
Perspective on it.
Yeah. Or even like talking to the people. I feel like I come with just like curiosity about the industry.
Which is great, yes.
Like, I really care. And I like spent so much time I just get very like obsessive with the things that I want to know about.
Mm-hmm.
And like diving in every single time. And always what ends up happening is a conversation goes in a completely different way than I ever expected.
I love that.
Like right now.
Yeah, curiosity is leading you to something that was new, that you were like, oh shit, I love the way this ends. Yeah, absolutely.
So like, even earlier when I talked about your even albums with Hand of God and the medley vibe, we get to the ending, and anyone I've showed that song to immediately has like connected and loved that song when they listen to it all together. Also, one of the people that I had the pleasure of chatting with was Alec Benjamin. And
he's on New York Soul, yeah,
exactly.
2, yeah.
And one of the fun things he said that he doesn't even really know what the lyrics were, but he like made it because it was like the vibe when you guys recorded it down. That like Hand of God song, what caused you to make such like a medley cinematic Broadway like meets acapella vibe for that, to bring everything together?
That whole record is just wildly ambitious. There's just a lot of like leaps taking. And I think at that point in my life, it was very just like, why not get 40 person and get the Michael Jackson choir to come in and record them and do the thing. But I'm surrounded by really, really talented people like Mark Williams of OG Volta and Volta. Like they were right-hand mans throughout a lot of that, at the ending process of that album. They came in on really big chunks on Glory Sound Prep, but that's Mark Williams charting out the way it comes in and whatever, and I'm just kind of presenting the idea. But like, Steve Jobs ain't making the iPhone alone, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like a lot of talented people around me. I think a lot of times in my life I look around and I say, thank God I've somehow ended up in this random group of people to get this idea across the table. Because I'm not, it's not 100% me, like, it's not even close. So that song, it's like Travis Mendez, Sheldon Ray, Mark Williams, Raul, Kubina, like myself, down to the union guy who got lunch for the choir that day. It's like, it just ended up happening. I don't know. It's good shit. I like, if I find that when I'm around really talented people that are like more talented than me, I end up winning. So I just try to be around people that are more talented than I am. So to answer your question honestly, it's just like, I got cold motherfuckers around me all the time that make me a lot better. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like there were times though in your career when you were like 100%ing songs, like trumpets.
Yeah.
which I love that record, by the way. As a kid, I remember listening to it on the radio. Every time it would come on, I'd be like, this song's so fun. And then I find out years later, I'm like, oh, Bellion. That's fun.
Yeah.
But, like, it's interesting because I think in today's society nowadays, like, people didn't know for the longest time that there were songwriters, that there were producers, that there were people making songs for artists. And I feel like there's, like, been this not slow, but, like, perception that, like, if an artist isn't writing their songs, they're less of an artist.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement, yeah.
Like, to make movies, you have a whole team of people.
It's
and,
insane.
like, when it comes to music, and I was talking to someone else I interviewed, vocal coach Stevie Mackey, and he was saying, like, in Europe culture, DJs and, like, people writing songs for others is very accepted, but in, like, the American and US culture, it's like artists shouldn't be having people writing songs with them. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a more macro. It's a very, like, curtain thing. It's very, like, behind the curtain. It's very Wizard of Oz. Like, in our industry, there's, like, this, you know, like, sometimes the artist doesn't want people to find out that they didn't really write much on the song because they want to come across a certain way because they're in control of their brand and they can't have people finding out that that's true. Or managers argue over percentages and mud gets slung and people threaten each other, and then you don't want that to be. So then everybody kind of just, like, clams up, and we're, like, here in our insulated bubble working, and then people on the outside are just, like, saying ignorant, stupid shit about their assumptions of what that is. Like, if there's a drum guy better than me and I've made drums for the day, and then someone tells me that there's fucking Jimmy in Germany makes better drums than I do, and I listen to his drums and I say, oh, his taste and approach is better than my drums, I'm calling Jimmy from Germany to come in and work on the drums. And if those drums inspire my top line, I'm making him a writer on the song. Is Jimmy a fucking hit top liner and deserves to is my management sometimes like, why are you giving percentages to all these guys and blah 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 blah. It's like, what the fuck does it matter if you're enjoying the thing? I've never understood that. Like, I don't know, all right, go do everything yourself. Like, okay, if that's your rule, you go make an album yourself. Set up the drums, mic it up, record the shit yourself. Don't get an engineer. Don't get the best drum guys in the world. Don't get somebody who creates better harmonies than you or more of a musical genius than you to come in and create something, to create an experience for somebody. Like, who the fuck has ever listened to a song and been like, wow, I love this shit. How many people wrote it? It's like, okay, if all of America wrote the fucking song and there's 3 million writers on the shit, but it gives you goosebumps and changes your fucking life.
Yeah.
What are you even taught? I see all these writers. Such a simple song. Right? Yeah, maybe I fucking took the loop from some random kid who's never made a dime in his life, and I like that one little loop. And it's like, let me put your name on a huge fucking song to change your life, to go get you a publishing deal with a bigger advance than I ever got when I was 19. It's like, that's just, like, hot take? I don't fucking, like, whatever. I don't know. It's just, like, the amount of people that are on a song, and Rihanna's considered one of the greatest artists of all time. She barely writes anything. Why? Because she's the most genius level A&R ever. The way she picks songs changes culture, the whole same thing with Bieber, same thing with, so what are you, well, we want to make sure that the experience is from you. It's like, have you ever listened to a song and related it to your life? Maybe there's a chance that a writer could write a song and an artist can hear a song and be like, that reminds me of my marriage. That reminds me of my loss. My failure, my success, my whatever. It's like, what are you? I think it's like a highbrow way to be like, look how many writers and the song's this bad. Like, top comment. Like, congrats, dude. Like, I don't know. I think I'm speaking from a place of, like, I'm just trying to make the best thing, like, every day. And I keep checking to the side and people are like, look at all the writers. I'm like, what the fuck does that... okay, back to the drawing board. Like, let's all 20 of us write a song because we can make the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, if I couldn't make if somebody were to tell me that putting 20 writers on a song would make it 10 times better and affect 10 times more people, I would put 20 writers on the song. But if someone were to tell me, wait, John, make it a little less good, but make more money because you have 100% of the song. Like trumpets, just do that every time. It's like, bro. It's like, bro, I'm capable of making trumpets over and over again because I did 100% of that myself. I'm not capable of making Don't Shoot the Boy Down or Get It Right or Father Figure. I'm not capable of making those songs alone. There's no fucking way. And maybe I'm not talented enough to do all those things at once. Like, okay, fine. Like, I'll admit, I'm not the most talented guy in the world. I need 25 people in the room for me to treat them, to get their tapestries and put this entire thing together.
The most talented people together to, like, make the best product you can.
That's Quincy. 40 people worked on Thriller. It's just that people weren't considered writers back then. Now people are scrounging for money and whatever. They could do a bass line, you want to get publishing on the song. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's like, cool. I wrote 100% of the song, but if you want to get publishing for doing a bass line, great. But, like, that's Quincy. Yeah. That's fucking Pharrell. Every time I go to Paris, Pharrell is like producing people and happily, and people love being around him and his energy. I guess my frustration comes from the idea of, like, we're here to make the world better. We're not here to we're here to get the win. I don't give a fuck if someone scores more points than me. Like, what are we talking about? It's about the W. It's about the ring. It's like, that's just my take on it.
Yes. Speaking of Pharrell, he's someone you, like, listened to a lot as a kid and, like, looked up to
obsessively. Yeah. Yep.
What was it like working in the room with him, and was that, like, nerve-wracking when you were about to do it, or is it like, I've just been doing this so often that it was like
first time he asked me to go out there because he heard whatever he was listening to at the time was the Jonas Brothers stuff or whatever. First time I got out there, I was definitely nervous, and I rarely am nervous because there's not many people that I've like, you are the reason I was like, I want to do that. You can't be me. I'm a rock star. I'm rhyming on the top of a cop car. I'm a rebel. It's almost over now. I was 14, like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was just I was like, wait, is he like in skate culture? And he's a biker, but he's around the rappers, and he's around the gangsters, but he's like a skateboard kid? This is fucking cool. Like, it was like too much for me to handle. So guys like Timberland or me being like Nelly Furtado, Say It Right. Yeah. And you hear those, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know music could sound that way. So when you get in front of those types of guys, it's hard for me not to be like, oh my God, you're like, to gush to some degree. Yeah, for sure.
Did you hold it in, like, the first time?
No, I told Pharrell right to his face. I was like, I just want to clear the air right now. You could ask everybody in the room. I was like, you are the reason for the season, and you're the reason I started doing music.
I love it.
Okay, now let's work.
It's just complete honesty with you.
Yeah, I mean, you try to be. But, yeah, Tim, Pharrell, Death Cab, Band of Horses, like, there's just certain people that if I ever got around, I would feel some type of way because they've shaped my life. Yeah. Music means a lot to me, so, yeah.
And, like, but I'm guessing that those guys are just so great at what they do that they probably just made you feel comfortable, like, right away. Also, like,
for
Pharrell.
Sure. There's also, with Pharrell, I can't even explain it. It's like watching him, I can't even explain it. He's under Teddy Riley. They consider Teddy Riley the producer of all producers. That Pharrell says that. Mm-hmm. It's like, so I'd love to have a conversation with Teddy Riley. But he's like a very, very singular vision, super confident and not afraid to just strike out. And that's just the most admirable thing I would say about him. Is you realize that, like, he seems like someone who's not attached to the outcome. He's attached to the process of what it could potentially be if it does work culturally. When Pharrell misses, he misses. When he hits, it changes the fucking world. Yeah. And that almost is something I've learned about that. Like, you want to swing. If I'm going to give Rihanna a song, it's going to be a jam 90s Chicago house basement rave thing attached to the Smurfs movie to make people be like, what the fuck is this shit? Because if it works, it changes. If you strike out, you look like an idiot. But if you win, you fucking win. It's just, are you okay with striking out? That's the real question. To me, I would honestly say to any young writer and producer, just popped into my brain now, to the degree you're willing to look silly by striking out is the degree you'll be successful. For sure. I just think culturally now it's just way more dicey to put yourself out there because it's very easy to just get shit on. Yeah. It's like people just love, like, coming home from their fucking 9 to 5 and recording themselves doing a parody of the song you put out for it to go viral to then make you feel like shit for even trying in the first place. Which is like, brave, very brave. But to the degree in which you're okay with looking like an asshole is to the degree you'll be successful. 90% of people are just too afraid to look like an asshole. So 90% of people don't even try. Yeah.
Afraid to look silly.
Yeah.
One of the things that, like, one of the songs that you made that really connected, I just want to say this real quick, was, okay, it seems like the vocals that you record are like so specific in the way that you pronounce things, in the way that you sing things, and it seems like everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Like everything feels like this is Jon Bellion approved, until Stupid Deep.
Yeah.
And I feel as if like when you got to that final chorus, it was very vulnerable. It was very real. It was very just like a release of all the emotions that probably had been building up at that time. Was that a difficult song to release and to let go of at the time?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you always have those butterflies or that thing that was like when you're in the room and you're so confident, there's always that moment of a little bit down the road, 7 months after it's about to come out, and it's about to come out in an hour, and you start to review all the things. I was really confident about that, but what if that's the thing that people hate about the song? And what if people don't realize that I'm counterculturally doing a thing on Horoscope? And what if they don't realize and then it comes out and the chips fall where they fall. So yeah, it is always hard to put out anything out into the world. Like the win comes from you just doing the thing and putting it out and risking looking like an asshole. Because if you strike out, you're a moron. If you crank that fucking Grand Slam, you're like in the Hall of Fame forever. People pick at the failure and they eat on the failure and they remind you of the failure. But they're not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Even if you're the laughing stock of the musical community, people aren't really thinking about you that much. So keep doing what the fuck you're doing, because you're just gonna beat the shit out of them with just trying. It's like, what an asshole. He struck out 150 times last season. What an asshole. He struck out 130 times last season. What's he, in the batting cage? What an asshole. He struck out 110 times. You know, he only struck out 80 times this year. Yeah, he's been in the game long enough. Yo, he cranked 4 homers last night. Welcome to the World Series. Fucking Jiminy's up. Home run, he's a hero. What a fucking talent. It's like, you were an asshole for my first 150 strikeouts. It's like, don't give a fuck about them, the strikeout. I'm talking to creative people.
Yeah.
Creative people. You got the iPhone in you. I've been wrong about hits, and I've had multiple global number ones, and I've been wrong. I've told people, I don't like that song. I don't think it's going to work. And I've been fucking wrong. Like, wrong. Flat out. Motherfuckers will convince you like they're Nostradamus, like they know hits to get business from you. I don't fucking know. And if I don't know, you don't know. So if nobody knows, like, strike the fuck out. Strike the fuck out. And I mean strike out. I mean like bases loaded. The whole town's and the girl in the back's ready to fucking marry you if you hit the home run and you strike the fuck out. Because when you strike out, you develop a different type of armor. You're like, I've struck out already. I've already struck out. If I strike out again, I already know what the pain feels like. The issue is when you don't swing and the shit hits the fucking catcher's mitt and you're like, you're out. And for the rest of your fucking life, what was the difference? I didn't swung and I lost. I could have at least swung because maybe I would have fucking hit the shit. And everyone's a moron until you connect. Second the bat pops. You're like, what a generational talent.
Yep.
It's insane. Sorry, that was really long-winded. I apologize. It's so important for, like, bro, could you imagine, like, I was 14 making beats.
Yeah.
I was 16 making beats in high school, going to, like, playing songs with my friends, and they'd come in and record it, and there was no internet. Literally. Date myself, whatever the fuck. I couldn't imagine being, like, 15 and, like, making a song and putting it on the internet, and then like some kid in school who hates it, who doesn't like you, is leaving a comment on the bottom for you to then be like, now you're a politician at 16 years old, trying to like preserve your image.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine what that's like for young creatives now. Let alone, like, there's no room for the bravest shit right now is like saying what you actually think creatively and striking out and going for it. Nothing braver. Well, there's a lot of other British people running into burning buildings and curing cancer, but like it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do.
I've noticed also like people tend to not remember the strikeouts as much as the home runs.
Totally.
Like
Ross Colin and the writer is, you're saying success has many fathers. Failure has none. It's like everyone sticks by when it wins, everyone's like, I always knew. But if the shit don't work, nobody fucking likes you. And by the way, they're only around you because you hit the home run. So when you do strike out a lot and then you finally hit the home run and someone says, let's hang out, man. Like, you're the fucking, you go, you weren't around when I wasn't hitting home runs. So you can kind of actually wade through the bullshit when you fail. When you fail, you have a way greater knowledge. I feel bad for guys who came up and hit it quick because they're shot out to space in a way that you have to kind of orient yourself in a sea of dishonesty because you're a cash cow. Like, that's gotta suck, is to be genius and hit the grand slam on your first at bat, because then people are kind of expecting that. There's something of a blessing that comes from repeated failure, because by the time you win, you can put the success in the proper perspective, or at least try to.
Were there a lot of songs that were quote unquote failures before the Monster connected from you that you were writing?
Every song I ever made was a failure before the Monster hit. Yeah. It only took me a few months by the time I got a publishing deal to get in the right room to write the right song. Yeah. And by that time, I had already written for fun throughout college and high school thousands of songs. So I kind of got shot into the industry way ahead of everybody because my parents got me a microphone, a keyboard, and a computer when I was 12, 13. I was making full-blown, like, I want to try to sing the song. Then I was producing records for my friends in high school. And then I was producing throughout college. So I think by the time I got my publishing deal, I was already, like, very far ahead of people who just wrote or just produced or just did vocal production. I was doing all of that myself. Not because I was super talented, I just did it every day and eventually got pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a really long stretch of failure. But guys like the Monsters and Strangers, Stephen Book, it was fucking 10 years before their first Billboard #1. 10 years. They were in my Ungrateful Eyes video, wearing masks. They're the guys in the mask in the video. And that song, like, this song's making me cringe. It's like looking at an old picture. But 10 years. They're looked at as some of the biggest producers in the world now.
Yeah.
Those guys have been my homies. It took them 10 years to get to #1. 10 years. Are you willing to look stupid for 10 years? That's the question. The question is not if you're good enough. The question is if you're willing to keep fucking swinging. No matter how many people tell you you can't swing, or you shouldn't swing, or you can't be this way, or it won't be successful for you. Those guys, look at the Monsters and Strangers, man. Look at their fucking discography and how many hits they've consistently had. 10 years, bro? Motherfuckers be like, it's not working out. It took me a year, and I'm going back to, this is stupid. It's like, well, there's people out there that are going to run on that treadmill for a fucking decade.
Yeah. Most successful people are just the ones that didn't stop, it seems like.
120%. And aren't afraid of the response of failing.
I also want to say, you said earlier, you said sorry for going on a tangent, but, I really wanted to have this conversation with you because I feel like people in the creative industry aren't talking about this. And in the industry that we are, I'm just, like, seeing all these kids who, like, not just in music, but, like, as YouTubers, like, so attached to virality and views as, like, self-worth.
Yep.
And, like, I've even run into that too. And, like, I'm trying to figure that out personally.
Yeah.
So, like
hit records are virality. You know what I'm saying? We're all chasing that popular hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that hit of rush of response. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know how to combat it though, because if the attention span drops, then music is almost just is one stem of the overall thing that keeps you engaged. Now it's like you don't just make the song; you make the moment of the story behind the song. To play the song. Played the song for my grandmother. This is her reaction. Now I have to set up the camera and make sure my grandma walks in the room to be really shocked and cry, and make sure that the camera zooms in on her teardrop when it goes down her face. Viral, viral, viral. 14-year-olds are like, what a great song. And the radio's like, I don't know, just fucking play that. Seems like everyone's listening to that. I don't know. I don't know how to combat that, or if I'm a dinosaur.
If you've ever resonated with the stories, videos, mission of Behind the Wall and want to help support us further, then this message is for you. If you've ever wanted to rep Behind the Wall while we are launching merch to the public, I started this series to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. But it was also to build the platform I wish I had when I first started being a creative. And my hope with Behind the Wall is to inspire the next generation. And now, for the first time ever again, we have launched merch that you could check out. But I've been been wearing this merch for years. I wear this hoodie. This is my behind the wall interview hoodie. This has been the hoodie that's been across from so many stories, from so many incredible artists, songwriters, producers. This is the day one hat. This is the first behind the wall merch item that has ever been made. 4 years ago, I started wearing this hat. It's been my thinking cap. And this is the mug that I've been drinking coffee out of, as well as hot chocolate at night. Where are we going? Behind the wall. And this jacket is my favorite piece of clothing I've ever owned. I've worn it for some of the most important days of my entire life. I wore it for the Marshmello interview. I wore it to the Grammys. And I also wore it when one of the biggest dreams of my entire life came true. And that video is officially coming soon. But first, I wasn't looking to put out just merch. I wanted to create something that means something. Something that says you create things that matter to you. You care about the process. You care about building something real. Whether you make music, art, podcasts, or videos and have ever wanted to support what we do here at Behind the Wall, this is the perfect way to do it. So please check out Behind the Wall's first ever live merch for you all in the description below. And I can't wait to continue to go behind the wall with you all.
Me personally, I try to stay away from signing things that are viral at the time.
Is it just stuff that you connect with?
Yeah, like my stomach tells me that this person is incredible.
Like intuition?
Like Clyde Lawrence and Gracie Lawrence. Like I'm just like, I saw them play one day. I was watching them live and saw this kid Clyde just start going upside down on the piano. And I was like, this is a generational fucking talent. I'm going to sign these guys. Like, I didn't ask the opinion of what the fucking a critic thinks or this thinks or this thing. Like, I just will go to my grave being like, don't go on after them. Don't fucking, if they open up for you, be careful. Like, they are very, like, they're very fucking talented. Very fucking talented. And kept going and will keep going.
Yeah.
Like, but the virality thing is, I'm not sure. I have a gauge of something that I think is timeless. And timeless sometimes can break through the matrix to combat virality. But I've personally never based anything I've done on virality, because to try to search to create that type of cultural moment seems like a job that's beyond my talent level. I'm not smart enough to do that.
And it's interesting because, like, you are creating very genuine music. And I think you always have. But, like, I think a lot of people were saying for years, like, it's interesting for me. Because people were like, where's Jon Bellion? And for me, like, it was if he, like, never disappeared, because every time a song would come out, I'd go to the song credits, I'd be like, there he is. He's still going. Like, nice.
Yeah.
You made so many songs. What were those 6 years like for you in that, like, writing from 2018, I think?
Yeah, I mean, when you really decide to let something go, it's funny how it just comes back into your lap. Like, it's just crazy. You could ask my wife, you could ask Lou, you could ask anybody. I was just like, no, I'm not an artist anymore. I don't like my contract. It's pennies on the dollar, and it just makes no sense for me to work so hard to put together and try to change culture and do all this stuff and be like a starving artist just because, like, my contract fucking sucks. Hey, I signed it. I was 20 whatever at the time, 19 whatever. It's my fault. I signed it. I should have just, like, had a better, more astute lawyer and had access to them in my fucking life at the time, or I don't know, but I did sign it. But the 6 years were some of the greatest fucking 6 years of my life, because I let it go. It wasn't like I woke up every morning being like, I don't get to, be an artist, because I just literally accepted it, like, mourned it, grieved it, cried about it, went to therapy about it, and continued on with my life. And by the grace of God, when the hits came, it changed the whole dynamic of my entire life. It's like, I was financially fine. My life is balanced. I learned balance in the last 6 years. I've gotten around enough celebrities to really take inventory, to be like, I'm good on this. Very contradictory to get on a fucking podcast, to clip it, to be the guy that people follow, to come to the show, to be famous. I know that, but, like, it's definitely a great reminder for me to be like, I'm good on that level of whatever the fuck you gave up your life for. I'm good on it, because I know a lot of motherfuckers that are like, if I could go back in the time machine, I'm not sure if I would have not been able to go to the fucking gas station without getting my head ripped off.
When you were writing songs back then, did they come, like, from your own life? And, like, because it seems like everyone I talk to, it's songs that really connect are the ones that come from this like very genuine place every time that's going on. And your songs are very specific when you write them, but when you were writing them back then, was it like, I'm no longer an artist, so I'll make this about my life, but I'm gonna make it that anyone can sing it? Or is it still coming from that place of like, this is me, kind of, this is Jon?
It was actually more coming from like whatever the vibe is in the room and calls for that day. It was kind of freeing because it's not me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's not. I would never do that. But like, it's fun to make it.
Yeah.
It's like it's fun to like to draw a picture of a superhero. I'm not a superhero, but it's fun to imagine what his superpowers are and to get lost in what that would be for the day. Like, oh, if I was a superhero, I'd teleport and I would fly and you get to experience what it's like to be inside that world. And it's like the same thing when I'm writing for other people. Sometimes I have to draw from myself because the artist has a similar life to me, or he wants to write a song about his wife. It's like, oh, if I can make a relatable song about my wife, I want to think about my wife because that's the muse. You know what I mean? But then other times it's just, I want to be the biggest artist in the world and make me the most smash addictive math melodic Swedish thing you could possibly do melodically. And sometimes that's my job. So it definitely differs.
Yeah, it's interesting because like in the basement, the only plaque that I saw was that song was 7. That was up. That was the number.
I haven't given it to my parents yet. My parents. If you go to my parents' house up the road, the house is
Wait, you
flooded.
give all your plaques to your parents?
Yeah, it's probably not healthy, but I don't like looking at plaques. I don't keep plaques
awesome.
in my house. Yeah, he's got all the other plaques in his office, but I don't. I keep everything. I don't like imagery and stuff. I try to stay away from all the time when we're creating.
Captain Falcon, Goku, like Mario Kart.
Those are my sons. My sons have weaseled their way into this room every day and leave
They
shit
remind
behind.
you of them. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I play N64 once a week with this like super dope group of guys. They're like my age. They
That's
all have
amazing.
kids, so we'll play Smash Bros.
Captain
I'm
Falcon?
Captain Falcon.
Yeah, that's me. I love it. So, okay. You quit music as an artist, but you have now come back as an artist to put out this album. Why did you decide to come back, and why now as an artist?
Well, when someone calls you after 6 years and says the reason you walked away, your contract being so shitty, we would like to completely reverse it. Because, hey, I'm a new president of this label. I have no emotional connection to you. I just found out you're on our label. I cannot believe we've shelled you for this long. You've made so many fucking hits for so many people. We will give you your shit back, kind of thing. Not shelved. I walked away. It was by my own volition. They just didn't believe me that I was walking away.
Got it.
Like, I was kind of like, I just won't make another song unless you switch my shit. Well, you signed the contract. It's like, all right, I just won't make music. And they were like, sure, you just sold out Jones Beach. Like, good luck trying to walk away from that. And I was like, okay. Anyway, 6 years later, they were kind of like, we'll give you your shit back. Would you make music if you gave your shit back? I was like, I don't know. I made a bunch of hits, made a bunch of money. I like my life. I'm pretty locked in. And then for some reason, it washed over me to have product placement. All these thoughts of possibilities came back. Because the possibility in my brain was so shut down, I was never creatively, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was never creatively, like, working to think about something I could do for my artistry because I was done. Because I've proven my point. I'm walking away and I'm never doing that again. So I was never, like, on a plane being like, if I was to make a song for myself, what would it be like? It was always like, what's the next session? How can I be a better writer, better server of other artists? So by the time the door got back opened again, I was like, ooh, like, that's really interesting. And the album kind of just flooded out of me. But yeah, it was because they reversed my shit.
But it has been amazing to see how much all the songs have been connecting.
It's
not
crazy.
only with like your fan base, but like new fan base
Dude,
is starting to form.
Bro, and then other artists I've written for, their fans are like favorably being like, oh, you don't even know about him. He's a writer. He writes for a bunch of different people. So then there's like a story that I didn't even think people would care about. I'm like, man, I've been out of this for 6 years. I got my contract first. I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't going to give a fuck about that. And then that actually ended up being the thing that made it like kind of unique in a way.
Yeah.
And because I'm rich, I get to give all the shit away free to the forum and to the email list to the fans early. So I get to go shoot an expensive video, not short form content, and then put it on a WeTransfer link and send it out 48 hours before the song comes out. So the fans are sharing it on like their group chats with their friends, not trying to look cool culturally on their social media. So there seems to be like a more integral number growth, that there's a groundswell happening, that by the time we dropped Y, I saw the payback of me spending hundreds of $1,000s on an Iceland video and sending it out for free. But then by the time we put out the third single, it was like, whoa, a lot of people must have got that video sent from the WeTransfer link to their friends for free. So I was like, this is a very interesting time to come back for sure. To me, it's all Monopoly. I told you before we started talking, it's like, I am on Monopoly money time. This is all fake to me. I'm on Boardwalk. This is great. Like, I'm just like, if people fuck with this, this is the most me I've ever been on an album for sure. So
I love that.
yeah.
I guess, like, hearing more about all of this, though, you've always been someone who I feel like has, like, put your fans first. Like, the first 3 mixtapes, like, no cost, like, no money, like, giving, and then you've always had that mentality. And while everyone is so focused, even me, so focused on making short form content, trying to do social media, trying to get views, you're like, no, none of that. We're going to go directly to you, which is what everyone like pitches with this idea of email list, but you're doing it as an artist.
Yeah. Well, it's just like sometimes you take these gut instincts where you're just like, okay, if you post once on Instagram, it only gets to 3% of your followers.
Yeah.
3% of 700, whatever, how many thousand I have on, let's say, like Instagram or something. 3%. So then wait a second. If I send out one email to 100,000 people,
Yeah.
that would reach then more people than social media. It's like, well, no. Just post 7 times to get to all 750 on social media. It's like, well, I don't want to post all 7 times. It's like, well, you're not going to be as big as you want to be, but yeah, you could definitely get a lot of people on that email list. And it's like, oh, I just have to mourn the idea of being, I just have to mourn the idea of certain successes that won't come my way. And then once that's mourned, it's just like, oh, I don't care now. I'm just going to talk directly to the fans. If I get 10 fans every 2 days, and those people are willing to spend $1,000 a year on my product, that's way better than someone who just clicks on a viral video that is not invested in me. 10 fans who are invested in you is worth 10 million fans that will never buy anything from you ever, or never even care about what you do. You're just a flavor of the moment. It's like, I don't give a shit. It's not as shiny. Like, my music's shiny. Like, I'll stand on business with my songs. Like this album, I'll stand on deep business culturally for this record that I'm making. That's for sure. But as far as like what it looks like to garner fans and what the fan base looks like and how I interact with them and thank them or whatever, that whole like holier than thou shit, it's like, miss me with that. Come on, you want to fucking get on an email list and I'll send you some shit 10 days before it happens? Come on.
But what's
like, if we could sell out, I'm not gonna say any names because we still haven't picked a venue for like the one big show I'm gonna do. I want to do like one large show.
Okay.
Come one, come all across the country. If you want to get on a plane, get on a plane. It's a big boy show. I don't know where. I'm not gonna say any names or whatever, but if I could sell that bitch out from an email list with no deal with AEG or Live Nation, it ain't pretty, it ain't shiny, and it might not make me a lot of money, but it at least sparks something in somebody to be like, wait a second, what if I dove into my my touring contract? John did it. Do we have an email list? Oh, the label won't give you the email list. Why? I don't know. All I'm saying is you should ask for your email list and see if you get it if you're an artist that's signed to a label.
Wow. But I'll also say that, like, you say it may not look pretty, it may not look shiny, but it's real. And, like, the impact is happening. Like, what's incredible...
Bro, right now, this is the crazy thing to even say. The second Y started to move, right now it's like a thing's happening. I'm getting contacted by these guys, and I'm being fucking so serious. Motherfuckers talking about, my name is so-and-so, and if you know that song that worked, the blank blank song, I'm not gonna say any name as the artist or whatever. It doesn't have to be like a spicy moment, but it's just like, what you're supposed to do is supplement the streams with premium accounts that are purchased because they can't trace premium accounts. So when we boost your streams, then you go into the algorithm, and that's when you make it to viral top 50. Dude, this is pay to play, man. Like, this is what you should be doing. The record's working. And I'm like tempted to because the song's working and I have a real fan base. But then I'm like, I probably shouldn't buy the streams because even if I stream less than someone who has more streams than me, if 100% of my streams are real, I could probably bank on that better for merch and ticket sales and stuff like that too. By the way, you gotta pay for UGC and users and people doing trends and shit to get songs to pop off. Sure. pay a PR firm, and we're doing the best we can. But like you said, it's real.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'm willing to mourn. There's certain things that I'm willing to mourn. I will not be as popular, not as respected, as well known as whatever. But at least the 100,000 motherfuckers I got are 100,000 motherfuckers. It's not 20,000 motherfuckers that look like 100,000 motherfuckers. Like, you know how like the Wizard of Oz, like you it seems like it's this really big thing. But then when you pull the curtain, it's a sweaty ass motherfucker on a treadmill. I'd rather it just be a sweaty ass motherfucker on a treadmill and someone just knows it's a sweaty ass motherfucker on a treadmill. like let's just not boost the stream. Like, and by the grace of God, maybe the streams will just keep going naturally.
It seems like it is, though. Like, the song you just put out with Luke Combs, I saw that it just hit number 4 on, like, Spotify in the U.S.
Debut out of on Spotify in the U.S. And not a single stream was purchased. It's also the Luke stimulus package. He's, like, the most talented, one of the most giant, exclusive, non-featured artists in country music. Like, he definitely blessed me. But, like, 4 million streams streamed by humans is just easier to triangulate data in your business rather than 20 million streams that came from 4 million real humans and 16 million premium purchase accounts. Because you can't trace, what I've learned is you can't trace premium purchase accounts. You can only trace free bot streams. So people can find out that you're streaming if you stream fakely through free accounts on Spotify. But if you buy premium accounts, they're not allowed to go into the back end information if it's a bot or not. So then all these companies are just like buying premium accounts in aggregate, and then the artists are paying for the, I don't even know, whatever. It's all good. And by the way,
That's crazy.
But by the way, that's kind of like payola on the radio.
Yeah.
If you sign a huge deal in the 90s, Tommy Mottola went with $2 million to the radio station and was just like, yo, play, I don't know, Mariah Carey or some shit. Like, so maybe this is just a response of payola in the new age. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this is a new reflection of that.
I also feel like it's just the response of, like, you, 1, being genuine, 2, being real, 3, going, like, right directly to the people. Like, it seems like so many pre-saves on the album that's coming. Like,
bro, we wanted 20,000
shows.
pre-saves. We're at 130,000 something pre-saves
That's
before
amazing.
on Spotify alone. But those are real people.
Yeah.
So they're not fake accounts doing it. So I'm just like, maybe that'll cause me to lose, but I'd rather like lose doing it that way. And by the way, I want to just really preface.
Yeah.
Any artist that's like spending their hard-earned money to buy streams to enter the algorithm to give themselves a better chance in a competitive market where everyone's doing that, especially the top dogs are doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think you need to get it how you get it. And if you want to have the song at the top of the algorithm and the algorithm responds to streams, everyone's buying them. Everyone's making it seem bigger than it is. So there's nothing actually wrong with that. I'm just good on it. Like, I don't need to be the biggest artist in the world. I want to be heard. I don't necessarily need to be seen. And when people hear the music, that's all I need. I don't need you to just hear it one time. And as long as I can get it to you one time, I think it's good enough to catch you in that way rather than convince you culturally because it looks like something bigger than it really is.
I mean, I love it. I love the fact that you're going directly to the people. It's like a response to, I feel like we live in this world where everything is just based on like how many views you can get, how much money you can make, and you're like, no, I'm going to go directly to people, and I think it's changing the game. I want to
I appreciate that, but I also want to say though,
yeah,
I'm also able to do this by the grace of God for making hit records for other people.
True.
Because my bank account looks different.
True.
I'm able to shave a bunch of money and give it. Granted, is it smart for me to burn that much money to give it away for free? I don't know a lot of artists that would want to do that. Fine. That's, I guess, morally whatever. But I'm also in a position to experiment with fucking with the beast and the machine because I am my own. I don't have to necessarily play by the rigidity of the rules of the fuckery that's going on, but it also is because I'm in a position to kind of safely do that. I don't know if I morally stand up enough to be like, I'd risk all my bank account and the roof over my head to be real for the people. I just have an opportunity to kind of give you like a baby's first science kit of how you could do a different way and some options for you to take. You might not be in the same financial position of me, but at least I can expose the importance of like an email list. Whoa, huzzah, what a fucking revelation, but maybe I could help. So,
I think that so far we've touched so great on your history. We've touched amazingly on the business of music. I think so many creatives are going to connect with this a ton. But what we haven't is we haven't talked about the new music really in detail that you're about to put out.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you may want to show some songs today, may not. Well,
yeah, on some casual shit, I'll play some shit, and we could I wouldn't necessarily play like the song in its entirety back. If you want to drop some chunks and however you want to chop it or whatever, but because you hear so much music and you're a music fan, I'm always the guy who's like, "No, great interview. You want to go listen to some music?" Like, I just want to play you some shit. So I'll definitely play you some shit. There is a is my phone dead? Can you give me Actually, you could just play it from on the island.
Is there any stories that you want to talk about with the songs you've put out thus far? Like from Wash, from Why, from Horoscope, from Kid Again, from any...
Yeah, I love like Wash being one of the first. Kid Again was more to announce that I was coming back, but Wash being one of the first singles and people being like, I don't know about this one out the gate, and then to see it so favorably, like over time, people be like, it felt too weird to me, and now that I'm adjusted to it, it's hard for me to even compare that song to what's out on New Music Friday. Like that was, it's been. I have a little more armor about it because I've done it with every album I've ever put out. Is making people adjust to a new sound of mine, but I'm in real time as why is happening. It's fun to have this conversation to be like, I'm really happy that I could mature my sound and majority of people be down to go that route with me. I can't make the same shit twice. If I was still making bubbly, funky, fucking bedroom pop, young guy shit, it'd be kind of like, it would almost feel icky to me. It doesn't feel like who I am.
Would you say you're making dad music now?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We have this one's crazy. I want you to try to guess the features.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to warn the people. I'm sometimes not very good at this.
There's 5.
Jeez.
One of them is my favorite influencer of all time, but he's doing the intro. And then there's 4 artists that are laced throughout. Records. One of them's an influencer. He's in the intro. I don't know if you'll be able to name it. That's okay. I don't know if you know who he is, but
Let me know when you're ready.
It's called Get It Right. And there's 5 artists that I've decided to just like not
reveal.
I love seeing Pharrell and Luke Combs to show the dichotomy of the album, and Jon Batiste like as the features, but the list of people that like worked on the song were so long by the time we put it on the credit list featuring blank 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 blank. I was like, this just looks insane. So I was like, it might even be fun to like play it for people, or when it drops for people to be like, is this
something you're ever gonna reveal, like who's on it, or are you gonna keep that like a secret?
Yeah, no, I will for sure. I'm probably like a month or 2 after, but I think people will know. You know what I mean? The musicality of the album starts to take off after the singles. So this is like a good representation of where the production's at for like the majority of the record.
So marriage is impossible.
That's one artist. Good stuff.
You are the mess I made. I was the game you played.
New artist there.
Get it wrong, get it wrong.
New artist.
I remember I was 15. Your sister said I was good, but I'd never be Swiss beats.
I know who this is.
New artist right here. Right here.
Thank you for the loyalty.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited to put this shit out. Oh man.
The production on that's crazy.
Thank you.
And also, I want to say, like even listening to your songs, you do such a great job at manipulating vocals to the point where I'm like, is that someone else? And then I look it up and I'm like, wait, that's Jon. That's like literally Jon, just like changing his vocals to the point where I like can't even recognize him. So
So did anything pop out? Did any names that you could identify that you heard? He's like, oh fuck. He gave me the warning before. He's like, that specifically I suck at. I just want to let you know that I might not be good at. It's so good.
well, okay. Is no hints, right?
I give hints you want, but I just want to see if you could pick anybody out of the bunch. Because it'd be funny for people to be like, I don't think, like, if you say it, then people start guessing the features when the album comes out. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, if you have any like hints out there, or not hints, if you have any like guesses out there, put
There's
them in the
5 artists
comments.
on that record.
I don't know who the pitched up person is at all.
Okay.
I would guess someone who's female on the pitched up. So
No.
I would... See?
Male
See,
artist.
this is why I'm not great at this.
Now I'm wondering if it's gonna be like a blast to have people be guessing who the features are on the record.
Like a couple names that would stand out, like I couldn't tell exactly, but like people that like I heard potentially right away with someone you work with would be Tori. I don't know if she's on there or not.
Interesting.
I feel like there were some vibes that gave me a lot of soul, like someone like a John Batiste or like a Teddy Swims.
Interesting. That's a great first 3. I respect who you've picked up to relate those artists with, and like to hear your ear catch up on those. Those are great.
Like the production on there is crazy though.
Thank you.
Like there was a
People think that a lot of the production, like we explain that the sound is changing, and there's not a lot of things on this record that like I'm not hiding behind much. Like even just horoscope, it's just me and a piano. So there's more of a
there's like
lead.
a crazy synth and like your
It breaks
voice
out.
comes in. It's
It
like
breaks out.
amazing.
Thank you. But I think a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised to hear like the fullness of the rest of the records on the. They're gonna like I'll play you one more record too if you want to listen to it.
Well, I'll also say that like it's like when you're listening to music, you are in it, and you're also like movement seems like it's a very important thing for you when you're listening to music.
Well,
Like,
yeah, you try to if you can like get inside of it and it forces you to feel something. I mean that's the whole. I'm always testing if like if it's unlockable and if it's you can enter it.
Yeah.
If it's like accessible, that's a good.
So if a song makes you move, that's how you know. Is that?
Yeah, if I find myself completely inside of it, like, and it's all rushing by me, and it
Do you see colors when you like listen to music ever? Or no?
Yeah, I always think it's so funny when people are like, I have synesthesia and I could like see colors. Yes, I see shapes and colors and whatever, but I'm not. I bet you like regular people do too. People always make it seem like it's like.
It's like
There's this
otherworldly
thing
and,
called
like,
synesthesia. It's like motherfucker. Like, some of my boys be smoking weed. They're like, that song does sound purple. Like it's not like it's like. Like, can we stop saying like, I have perfect picture and I have synesthesia? I could play you one more song. That'd be a good way to end it probably. So this is the next single that's coming. This is called Father Figure. This is like the actual song for the album.
These boys won't make it through. I'll follow after you. True. So what you won't do? Down every lonely road and broken avenue. Yeah, I got you. And they tell me congratulations, standing ovation. You built your coffin, and that shit looks just like a if I follow after you.
Wow.
Once you see the video, video goes nuts.
Why do you say that?
It's just like, I feel like we found the flow by the 4th video because I was getting directors and you're paying for it yourself, so you're seeing the micro of all of it, and then by the time we hit this video, I feel like we finally hit this like creative stride that like embodies the album completely.
That's amazing.
Like when the video drops and you see the imagery behind it, you'll be like, now that's, they've reached the, sometimes people put albums and it's all over the place. I feel like we've pinpointed the energy and the feeling with this video and the song. It finally is like, welcome to the album, like kind of shit for sure.
I love it. I also want to say like we're right now we're recording this and we're listening to this before the album drops.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it and like what would be really cool here is like your album comes out pretty close to Father's Day. So I was thinking like how great would it be if we could put this like out on Father's Day or maybe like a bit after Father's Day as
Great.
like a celebration.
I'm in. Love it.
So my final 2 questions for you,
Sure.
because I feel like we talked a lot about like advice for like creatives out there. What do you hope people feel when they listen to Father Figure for the first time?
I hope that people feel more comfortable with themselves after they listen to father figure. Yeah. And they feel ready for the next day. Not to go be a viral sensation or anything like that. Just enough. If I could put enough into this to get you to the next day. That's genuinely, and I really mean that. I don't mean the next 10 years. I don't mean perfection. I mean just out of bed the next day. This can get you out of bed the next day for you to keep going in cutting the grass or being a superhero. Taking the garbage out or scoring the winning fucking thing in the World Series. Like, getting up out of bed the next day is definitely the... Hope people feel human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as a father yourself, what do you hope your kids hear? What do you hope your kids feel when
Don't
they hear
hit me
Father
with
Figure
the
one day?
fucking waterwork question. What do I hope? What do I hope they feel from the album?
When they listen to it one day, when they get to hear their father's album, in a sense, about being a father.
I mean, you make me walk through the last 33 years of my life. My dad must have really loved me.
Yeah, I do want to say real quick that it has been such an honor watching you as an artist these past 8 years, ever since I discovered the human condition, and to have the opportunity to chat with you today. I've had so many incredible conversations with people, but it's this conversation just means the world. And I was never sure if it was going to happen. I feel like you are the best person to talk to about being a creative and being successful in this day and age. And even your you don't even know who I am, but your genuine belief in just go for it, try to do the swings, it's okay to strike out. In fact, you should strike out.
Yeah, you should.
And I genuinely, the reason I started Behind the Wall was to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, but it was also to, help the next generation as creatives.
Yes, sir.
And, as a creative myself, these conversations have been genuinely helping me, so I want to say thank you for helping me, but, for anyone watching out there right now, I truly believe that this is a conversation that any creative should watch, because it shows, what success truly means. And I feel for me, trying to figure that out in a world that's so focused on virality and numbers and money and everything like that, to see someone like you who has invited me to their home to stay, to be able to have this conversation with you, means the world. To see how you live your life, to see you being a family man and being a successful creative. Just wanted to say thank you so much for making this happen.
Man, I think to give you your flowers, it's been amazing to watch the things that they've sent me, to see how your questions and your curiosity has led you to this basement. You know what I'm saying? The fact that has gotten you there. Just please remain as curious and non-judgmental as you are now. I don't feel any hint of you trying to angle me into something or to try to manipulate. It's your curiosity that's gotten you here in your mind, and I think that's an amazing thing. And who am I to tell you I don't create content? Well, I do in music, but not the way that you're doing it, and I think you're doing a really good fucking job. And I think you've mentioned virality a lot, And I think you might be in a place in your life where you're juggling a bunch of chainsaws to try to validate and to remain in this space, because if the views start to go down, will I get the response that and what happens if I'm just known as there's not a single person on the planet that doesn't feel that way every day, myself included. So just the curiosity will get you to a place for this to keep growing. The virality is a concern and you're doing a great job attacking it, but one day it could come, one day it could go, one day it comes back. The other day he's just the guy who did a couple of interviews. What if? Did you more than fucking enough? This conversation's meant a lot to me, and you're a great fucking interviewer. One of the best I've had in a long time. Just want to encourage you that the virality might be here tomorrow, and it might come for the next 3 years, and you might be doing great, and the virality might go away. But we're all pretending as though we are only viral. Meanwhile, we're just trying to do the best job of looking like we're viral all the time. Because deep down, we have these types of conversations that say, I have to find out what success really means for me. I have to find out what my truth is. What's going to make me actually happy in this world? Because I can feel myself not being happy through the virality or trying to keep up the spinning plates. I just want to let you know, just to encourage you, that like the spinning plates seems like it's reality. It's just not reality. And I think you're going to be totally fine. I think you're doing a great fucking job.
That means the world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
At the end of every interview, I also write a thank you card. So thank you so
man.
much for joining us
I
on
didn't
Behind
know
the
you
Wall.
did this. This is what? Oh, I'm reading this tonight. I'm reading this tonight.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jon
This is so
Bellion,
nice of you. Man,
for joining us today on Behind the Wall.
genuine as fuck. Genuine as fuck. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
For real.
That's my baby. Treat your body like a river rain. Let it wash all